In light of the coup in Niger Republic, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, headed by Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, has taken several steps to return the country to the leadership of a democratically elected president. In an extraordinary summit of member states held in Abuja, the Commission issued a 7-day ultimatum for the release of the Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum, who is being held by the military. The Commission also issued numerous sanctions on the country in the hope that it will encourage dialogue between the military and representatives of the regional body, as both parties seek a compromise to end the crisis. Participants fear the implications for the region if the crisis is not resolved quickly.
In line with ECOWAS' disposition of zero tolerance for unconstitutional change of government, the authorities swiftly responded by holding on the 30th of July 2023 an extraordinary summit on the political situation in Niger. Following the summit, the authority condemned the action of the elements and called for the immediate release of His Excellency President Mohamed Bazoum and the reinstatement of his government. Accordingly, the authority pronounced targeted sanctions on the military junta. These include closure of land and air borders between ECOWAS member countries and Niger. Institution of ECOWAS no-fly zone on all commercial flights to and from Niger. Suspension of all commercial and financial transactions between ECOWAS member states and Niger Republic. Freezing of all service transactions, including utility services. Freezing of all assets of the Republic of Niger in ECOWAS central banks. Freezing of assets of Niger and the country's enterprises and parastatals in commercial banks. Suspension of Niger from all financial assistance and transactions with all financial institutions, particularly the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, EBID, and the West African Development Bank, BOAD. Travel bans and asset freeze for the military officials involved in the coup. These sanctions also apply to their family members and the civilians who accept to participate in any institutions or government established by these military officials. In addition, a separate delegation led by Ambassador Babagana Kingibe, our former Minister of Foreign Affairs and former Secretary to the State Government, former Secretary to the Federal Government, was mandated to engage with the leaders of Libya and Algeria on the matter. These deployments, according to President Tinubu, are to ensure a conclusive and amicable resolution of the situation in Niger for the purposes of African peace and development. The steps so far taken by ECOWAS authority demonstrate the reality in the region that the worst form of democracy is still better than the best military dictatorship. Likewise, the condemnation of the coup in Niger by the international community is a welcome development. The swift reaction by the international community is a huge testimony to the preference for democracy and constitutional rule to any form of governance. Consequently, Nigeria and indeed ECOWAS calls upon the international community to remain resolute on that stance and continue to show solidarity with ECOWAS for affirming the superiority of democratic and constitutional rule over dictatorship. No doubt, the developments in Niger, like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea, have raised serious concerns about regional stability and democratic principles in West Africa. As such, the success of the coup in Niger will significantly dampen ECOWAS's reputation, especially if the country joins the ranks of others that are governed by unconstitutional leaders, as mentioned by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea. Our immediate concern remains for the people of Niger who deserve peace, security, and the right to choose their leaders through transparent and fair elections. We call upon the perpetrators of this coup to step back, respect the rule of law, and engage in peaceful dialogue to resolve whatever grievances they may have. As has been demonstrated through President Tinubu's entreaties since the time of the coup, the Nigerian government stands ready to support any mediation efforts aimed at restoring democracy and stability in Niger Republic as well as other member states. The region has the responsibility to ensure that the life of President Bazoum, his family members, and other political leaders detained along are safe. The region holds that he remains the legitimate elected president and head of state of the Republic of Niger, recognized by ECOWAS, the African Union, and the international community, and therefore rejects any form of resignation that may purportedly would have come from him, perhaps under duress. We therefore call on the international community to rally around the ECOWAS and lovers of democracy in Niger and elsewhere in the world at large in order to sustain constitutionalism in the country.